Talk about worth the wait. That was totally worth the wait. Rocky 4, Rocky versus Drago, the director's cut, totally worth the wait. The way it started, I knew it was going to start a little different. Spoilers as usual. The way it started, it goes further back into the Rocky 3 with the fight between Rocky and Clubber Lang. Shows how he lost the first fight with Clubber, needed Creed's help. Didn't know it at the time. He was ready to retire and give up. He just lost Mickey. So Creed came in there, told him, gave him that motivational speech and, saying maybe we can get it back together. And I just and only the hardcore fans will notice the changes and some of the changes in the movie. But the hardcore fans will notice different camera angles and how they switch music around. And how they even put some of the old Rocky music subtly in the background. And I just really enjoyed it. And, it starts off with that. They didn't start off the movie showing Creed and Rocky in the ring, where he goes ding, ding. They didn't show that. They skipped that, I guess, because they alluded to it or talked about it in the Creed movies where they said, I heard there was a third fight between you and Creed. So, yeah, Carl Weathers, man, such screen presence. And the guy that trained Michael B. Jordan to playing Creed was talking about that Michael B. Jordan's body was better than Carl Weathers. No way. Carl Weathers has man muscles. Michael B. Jordan kind of has those teenager looking muscles. But Carl Weathers has real size, not just cuts. He had size and cut. So Carl Weathers, hands down, best physique. And Dolph Lundgren, Sly, everybody came in top shape for this movie. But it starts off, showing Creed in the pool with a bunch of dogs, and they show Drago's coming. They just changed little words here and there. They didn't start off with Eye of the Tiger at the beginning. They didn't show the fist blow up. I thought about that later. They actually play Eye of the Tiger at the end of the movie, and I thought that had more of an emotional effect by doing it that way. And it's just a great, great experience. Of course, the fights, I still, on a scale from 1 to 10, me and my son give it a 10, but I still would have given it a higher mark if they just had showed Creed training with Rocky for the Drago fight. Now, I guess he can't show it if they didn't film it, but I didn't know if he had some throwaway footage from Rocky 3 that he could have made it look like they used for his training for Rocky 4. But I was just hoping that they would show Creed training for the Drago fight. They didn't do that, though. But Creed definitely puts up more of a fight in this version. He gets knocked down, gets up. I watched the making of the director's cut, and I'm going to be doing a review on that later. But Rocky said that he noticed the part where Creed's in the ring saying, I want you, and he said his glove wasn't even on, his hands weren't wrapped. He said, take that all out. It's still in the movie. You can't see it as well. It's like they kind of slid it over, but you can still see his hands weren't wrapped and the gloves weren't on. But, that's kind of nitpicking, it doesn't take away from the movie. But in this version, Creed puts up more of a fight, gets knocked down, gets up. Rocky tells him to clinch. Great advice. I think some of the shots look like the same punch, just shot from different angles. But he put up more of a fight, and so, Stallone wanted that. He said in the making that he really regrets killing off Creed. He said, I wish I hadn't have done that. He said, I could have put him in a wheelchair. That could have led the whole thing with my family and his family. Would have changed the rest of the movies. Rocky 5 and the Creed movies might not have happened. If so, they would have been a lot different than they ended up. But so much things that he tweaked, little things. I don't want to give it all away, but I just really enjoyed the movie experience. I was supposed to go see Rocky 3 with my mom when I was little, but we went out to by the San Diego Sports Arena and it was sold out. So I never got to see Rocky 3 on the big screen, unfortunately. But it was like I got to see it this time in the theater because so much of it was at the beginning of Rocky 4. So it was great to see Mr. T on screen. You know, everybody's looking great. Drago shows a little bit more emotion in this version. He talks more. Like I said, Gonna Fly is now not in the movie, but they add little songs you hear in previous Rocky movies, like Rocky 1 and 2, like when they show Creed in the pool, you hear some of the music that's in Rocky 2, when Rocky's in the meat plant, when he gets a job in the meat plant, you hear that music playing. Just little subtle changes, you know, even in the boxing scenes, just little things that only the hardcore fans are going to notice. You know, he really changed the beginning of it, took the robot completely out, didn't even miss it. I really like the scene with Creed and Rocky in the backyard, you know, playing with the football. And just a great, great experience. They don't make movies like this anymore. And the fight is very, you know, it looks real. They tone down the sound of the blows. You know, of course, in Rocky movies, they take more punches than they do in real fights, you know, at least some fights. But just the aggression of it all is what is, you know, what makes it really exciting to watch. And I'll talk about this more in the future, but I just really enjoyed the experience. I like seeing Rocky 4 on the big screen. I got to get it on Blu-ray. I like watching the behind the scenes on Sly Stallone's shop on YouTube. And I'll talk about that at some point. And just had a great time. If Sly is talking about maybe making another Rocky movie dealing with him and an immigrant or something, I'd definitely be interested in watching it. He could keep making it. I'll watch him. Rocky has stood the test of time, unlike Star Wars, because George Lucas made the mistake of selling it to Disney, and then Disney had to do their little propaganda and shenanigans and mix in their little messages. So Star Wars didn't stand the test of time once Disney took over. The old movies do, but Creed is doing great too now. Stallone's, I don't think, going to be in any more Creed movies, so they can't mess up like Disney did Star Wars. They can't mess up the Rocky franchise like Disney did Star Wars. So yeah, there's a lot that they added. Duke gives a speech, you know, when he's saying goodbye to Creed. He gives a good speech that's not in the original. Rocky cries. Adrian speaks to him, telling him it wasn't his fault, you know, and Rocky for director's cut. Been waiting for this for, I believe, over a year now. Well worth the wait. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 10. Would have given it a higher had they shown some training montage of Creed getting ready for Drago. But again, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. This version is actually, like Rocky said, the Rocky movies aren't boxing movies, they're drama. So I think that's why he wanted to go back and clean up Rocky 4, because that movie kind of was more boxing than drama. So he wanted to go in so it kind of flowed with the other movies and made it more of a drama. So great job, Sly. I enjoyed watching it. I watched it on Amazon Prime. I plan on getting the Blu-ray and watching it some more, because there's always things that I see when I watch it over and over that I didn't see before. Like I never noticed when Duke took off Creed's his Uncle Sam gear and put it in one of the dancer's hands. I had never noticed that. Maybe it's not in the old version, but little subtle things too, like when Paulie says hit the one in the middle. In the original, Tony Burton, who plays Duke, says, yeah, hit the one in the middle. In this one, Paulie just says it and Duke doesn't. So little things like that. Anyway, this is the J. Roos Theory. Thanks for watching. If you saw the director's cut, Rocky versus Drago, let me know what you thought. Make sure to subscribe and be fearless. Yay, yay.